Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome back to the Choking Hazard Podcast, episode 49, with my co-host RDT.
Hello, it's been years.
My other co-host slash producer, MB Hammer.
Hello.
In the
Good
ether.
Day. Ether.
No Nos, of course, because Nos is too busy for us these days.
We do actually have an official statement from Nos.
Yes.
Let me see. It says, "Tell everyone with my 65-hour work weeks, I don't have time for podcasts anymore or anything else that's fun or fulfilling."
So there you go.
Boo.
There you go.
And then he said, we were like, oh yeah, his life of work is, lonely and terrible. And he's like, yeah, I got cars and money. I was like, yeah, sure.
He's trying to save up for his fourth car now, I think. He's going to buy a fourth car. He already had the old one that he used to have. He still got that. Yeah. Then he got the MX-5. Uh-huh. Then he got something else. A Honda Accord. And now he's saving up for something else, but I don't know what it is.
Why?
I don't know.
Wait, what? What? This is the first time.
Some long bed truck thing, yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. Is it a Cybertruck?
He already looks like Jay Leno. He wants to get now he wants to be Jay Leno? Jesus.
So, Nos is still at Domino's. He said he's getting a promotion soon, so he'll get more money as well. I don't know what the details of that is. We're going to try and get him back for the 50th episode next month for the Christmas special. We're going to try and schedule it, make sure that everything works so that we can have all of us together again, at least for episode 50 for the Christmas special. But
the 50th show reunion special.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the idea. So we'll at least get all the details directly from him next time, if that's possible. But yeah, he's still at Domino's. He's doing 60-odd hour weeks, which I've told him is unhealthy, but he's doing it. And he's buying cars with his money, I guess.
Domino's all the time.
I know.
Healthy either.
Yeah. So we'll find out from Nos exactly what's going on, hopefully next month for the Christmas special. If we can, the podcast might not end up being on the Saturday like it normally is. It might be at a different time to make it possible for us to have Nos back on, but we'll see what happens. And then we'll see what happens for 2020 as well, if Nos isn't going to be able to do these podcasts anymore, which seems like it's going to be the case. Unless he just gets lucky.
We might have to phone out for guest presenters.
Guest presenters, yeah. So speaking of trucks, long bed truck thing, that's Cybertruck, eh? Should we get that out of the way with before we go on to anything else?
Oh my God. That thing is glorious. I love it. It looks so bad.
Is it though? Is it glorious?
Yes.
I don't know what you call it. The whole...
It's something.
It reminds me of, do you remember all the concept cars you used to get in the 70s that were like wedge shaped?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a concept car for that.
It's
got
what
to
a
be a joke,
scumbag.
Right? It's got to be. You can't be selling that.
I didn't turn off the notifications because I'm stupid.
Dude, it comes with an ATV.
Nobody's going to buy it.
Everyone was talking about the ATV being better than the actual truck itself. Shout out to GTA series videos who photoshopped in the Cybertruck into a screenshot of GTA 3, and it just looked exactly right.
It's kind of that era, isn't it? It's kind of like it's almost like a warthog from the original Halo.
I saw a lot of comparisons.
That sort of vibes, isn't it?
I saw a lot of
such a weird move for Tesla.
Comparisons to Lara Croft's chest.
Yeah. And then the whole smashing the window and stuff as well. Like, my God.
Oh dear.
Unbelievable.
The man's just a walking meme. He is.
Well,
but I liked when they hit it with a sledgehammer, because that kind of reminded me of the first episode of Knight Rider. If anybody remembers that.
I don't know.
No, we're not 48 years old.
Shut the fuck up, you. So in the first episode of Knight Rider, when David Hasselhoff gets introduced to Kit, they demonstrate how strong it is by hitting the bonnet with a hammer, and it just sort of bounces off and makes no mark on it whatsoever. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, there we go. Hammer's age confirmed. I'm 35. God damn it! Shut up.
What's it like?
Speaking of age, what's it like, Broughy, for this to be the last podcast when you're in your 20s? Last podcast of your 20s, Brough.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, last podcast of your 20s. If we're going to go into age.
Oh, no.
Boom.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, that's horrible.
Yep.
Why did you have to...
Well, listen, if you're going to target me, I'm going to fight right back.
Weekly podcasts until December. Bringing back weekly podcasts.
The good old days.
Oh, no.
Damn, how does Broughy look 11 and 43 at the same time? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of time passing, it's been a long time since the last podcast. It
has.
It's been 3 months since the last podcast in real time, and 2 months worth of episodes that we've missed. RDT's grown out a beard in the meantime.
Yeah, it's coming out in a little bit.
I got a haircut.
And you got less hair, yeah.
Not that we can tell.
And so, yeah, there was a few comments I noticed over the course of these last 3 months about asking about the podcast, and then also wondering about the podcast being dead. And, you know, I knew you'd kill off the podcast was one tweet. Chill. We've only missed 2 episodes through travel and stuff. That's all it's been. Just chill. We're still here.
Yeah, that's what it was the whole time. I definitely didn't Venmo Broughy $500 just to have another episode of the podcast.
Yeah, this episode of the podcast is actually crowdfunded. So,
so we are still here. We're still back. But I mean, Nos wasn't here for August's episode, which was the last episode. I can't remember which one. Was he here for the one before that? For July? I don't know. But you know, it's things are going through some changes right now with the podcast. So we'll see what the future holds. But we're not dead. We're still here. We're still around.
Still here for you in your
Still
ears.
Kicking.
Yeah.
And eyes.
And for all those people who Nos has abandoned for his dream of being a radio show host, all those people driving cars right now, we're still here for you, even if Nos isn't.
Yeah, Nos abandoned you just because he got some high quality gig slinging pizza. Like,
this episode of the Choking Hazard podcast actually has got a hashtag, so it's hashtag boycott Nos.
Hashtag boycott Domino's. Get Nos fired.
Get on Twitter. Hashtag boycott Nos.
So yeah, we haven't been here for 3 months, mainly because of trips and things. I've kind of had a bit of a crazy 3 months of being all over the place. I can't remember the last episode. Had I been to Sweden for the first time and then I was going to the US? I feel like I feel like I just come back.
You asking us?
Yeah, because I can't remember.
Not in Sweden for the last podcast.
I think
you were in Sweden for the last podcast, were you not?
I was in Sweden? Did I do the podcast in Sweden last time? I feel like... Oh, yeah, maybe I did. Because it had been...
I think you did. Yeah,
it had been a while since... Yeah, I did. I was in Sweden for the last podcast. So then I came back from that, then went to the US for a month. I was in the US for a month, and RDT never came and, paid me a visit, never came to see me. I was very disappointed.
What an asshole.
Where the hell were you?
I was on, California. It's just a stone's throw away from you.
I've never been west of the Mississippi River. So
is that something that you're happy about?
No, it's not something I'm happy about. It just means that I'm not well traveled in my country.
Okay. Yeah, so I was there for a month and then came back for a week. Well, less than a week, 6 days. I was back in the UK before then going to Sweden again for 2 weeks. So it's been quite the time of it. But thankfully now we're getting to the end of the year and Christmas and stuff. We're able to settle down a little bit. Supposedly... Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say, supposedly I need to start talking about my TwitchCon trip and the US trip and what happened,
Yeah,
but you know
I
how
think you
bad I am
should.
at telling stories, and I don't know. So I feel like I'm going to have questions asked to me that I
Well,
can
do you know
answer.
what I'm most jealous about?
What's
Is you getting to see Penn and Teller live.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I love Penn and Teller. They're great.
Damn.
So we went to.
How was it?
We went to Vegas the last time we were here in 2017, and we wanted to go again this time because we enjoyed it so much. We not for gambling or anything, just for the sheer experience of the place. It's kind of something else really. And we were there for 3 nights, and we did a show on each of the 3 nights. So it was quite the whole 3 night. Well, there was a whole week really where it was just something going on every single day. But Aerosmith was the first night in Vegas. We drove there.
Of course.
Drove there for 5 hours, went and see Aerosmith. They were really good, actually.
Did they live up to your? Because they're one of your favorite bands, are they not?
Yeah, they're my all-time favorite. And
Oh my goodness.
and I saw them in London. I don't know, 2011 or 2012. I don't know when it was, something like that. But it was at the O2 Arena, so it was massive arena, and I was right at the back. And I really didn't enjoy it that much, just because we were so far away. But all of the places that you sit and go see these shows in Vegas, they're all pretty small, maybe like 5,000 capacity or something. So there wasn't really a bad seat. So I was so much closer, and they played my all-time favorite song as well, which isn't a common song for them to play. So I was pretty happy about that.
What song is
That's
that?
awesome.
It's actually one on their blues cover album that they did. So you're not going to know, So.
Yeah, I'm super familiar
Exactly.
with their discography. What's the name of the damn song?
Damn it, I can't remember.
What's your favorite song and you don't know the freaking name of it?
I'm so bad at
He's
thinking.
been put on the spot now.
I can't do things when I think on the spot. Like I'm no good at that. I can't even think of the name of the album. Right, I'm
It's like
looking
the
this
band
up.
at
Cover
least.
album, actually.
I'm looking this up. Right, Honkin'
Aerosmith
on Bobo
playing the
was the
blues.
album.
Honky Tonk Bobo.
Honkin' on Bobo.
Oh, honking on. That's even worse.
That's worse. Wow.
Let me see. Stop messing around.
Meme.
Fleetwood Mac cover.
Oh,
According
I
to
Fleetwood
this.
Mac.
I love
And they
Fleetwood
played that. I really enjoyed that. So I really enjoyed that. I'm so bad at stuff like that though. Whenever I'm put on the spot about anything, it's just everything just goes. It's like when I'm told to recall a story or something that happened. It's just blank.
Hey, you know what?
What?
I just thought it's the that was the last Aerosmith concert of your 20s.
Oh, for God's sake, man!
Well, last time you were in Vegas in your 20s, so now everything's gonna hurt the next morning.
Yeah.
Is this going to be like all the way through the podcast?
I guess so.
If we can make it last, then yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, if every stream someone can wish you a happy birthday and talk about the Chrome F620, I think we can rag on you for being 29 for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
All right, fine. God damn it. So yeah, it was Aerosmith the first night, Christina Aguilera on the second night. So it was kind of a show for me on the first night, a show for Xerxes on the second night, and then Penn and Teller on the third night. Yeah, they were really good. They were really funny. The show was actually shorter than I expected. It was only like it was kind of just over an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes, no more than an hour and 15. Like it was shorter than I thought. But yeah, they were really good. They were really funny. I have to say, one of the things that they did, I'd seen multiple times from Darren Brown before, though, so that was kind of lost a little bit.
Okay.
I
love
love
Darren Brown.
It was still good.
Have you seen any of Darren Brown's shows live?
Yeah, me and Zexy went to a show. I really enjoyed that too.
They're so good.
Yeah.
So good.
So yeah,
Did you-
Vegas was
did you-
good.
Okay.
I played my first poker tournament as well in Vegas.
What
My
the
first
hell is
ever
that?
Vegas poker tournament, at least.
Oh, I
You
thought
were in
I
one,
thought
or
you
you
said.
saw?
What?
I thought you said poke tournament, like you'd done something
Yeah.
with Pokemon.
That's
was
what I
like,
thought.
Oh,
what the hell is that? Oh,
okay,
poker.
yeah.
poker, right?
Poker.
Got you.
Poker. I entered a tournament and I came fourth, and it was winner take all, unfortunately, so I didn't.
Oh, that's damn
but it
shame.
was fun. It was a fun experience. I took a guy. I kind of did everything. I bluffed somebody and won a big pot. I took a guy out. Like, I kind of hit all these things of what you would do in a normal game, but in Vegas, in real life, doing it properly. So that was fun.
Were you wearing sunglasses?
I wasn't wearing, so I didn't go that hardcore.
Shame. We should play poker on a game night if we ever do that again.
I'd be up for that.
I love playing it. I'm just hopeless at it.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I played it a lot back in the day. I was reminded during that game kind of why I decided that I wasn't going to do poker professionally. Like, I was getting to a point where I knew the game well enough to think, all right, let's maybe try, put in a bankroll and see if I can make up money and all that kind of stuff. Like, I was playing it a lot. I was studying the game.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
The secret underbelly life of Broughy.
He was going to go to Barcelona and be in the Poker Star Open in Barcelona, weren't you?
That wasn't too long ago, I suppose. Yeah, that was. Yeah. But yeah, that was something different. Yeah, that was different.
What? Wait, what? You're interesting?
What? But well, yeah,
wait. He's interesting until he turns 30, and then
yeah, then he'll have a kid, whatever, and
yep.
live a life.
But yeah, I was reminded why I didn't do that, and it's because I just didn't really like the randomness. I couldn't take that really. It was I didn't really get very good cards all the way through that tournament, but I still managed to do well. But I got nothing for it in the end. So
that's the thing. It's an absolute, because these games last a long time, and it's an absolute grind when you're just getting crap hand after crap hand after crap hand.
Yeah,
and it's just unless you make it interesting by just going full on bluff city. But as soon as you get found out the first time, then that's it.
Exactly.
Kind of spoils.
Yeah, I'm up for a poker game on one of the game nights. It should be fun.
Yeah, man. Sounds
Let's
good.
do it.
So yeah, Vegas was good.
We hear you also went to a strip club.
Yeah. Andy T's mind is blown right now about he's like, who is this guy?
I feel like this is like finding out that my uncle did all their like my priest or something.
So tell us about the strip
all right,
club.
okay. So
you
after
and Xerxes went, I imagine.
After Vegas, we went back to San Diego for TwitchCon, and I think it was either the first or the second night at TwitchCon. Hooplehead USA, the mod in the channel, who's been around the channel for a long time. Many of you might know his name. He was at he's one of the first. He was at TwitchCon as well, and he'd sent us this invite to a super secret pop up. It's a bar in Vegas, set up by someone who used to work at Twitch or Justin TV, as it was back then. I think he kind of left that and he set up this bar in Vegas, and it's a nerd oriented bar. So there's bowling and video games and all that kind of stuff, and everything's sort of free to play on, supposedly, as long as you buy 2 drinks, which is pretty cool.
How much are the drinks?
I don't know. But supposedly they had a pop-up super secret party, and he knows the guy, so he got us to it. He got a few other people there who his general friends there, and we met up with them, and we were in a 7-seat vehicle that we'd rented during the time. So I drove all these people there, and as we were going there, one of the people who we were with got a text from someone who was already there and said, why am I looking at vaginas? So,
I don't know. Why are you?
That was our first clue that something was a little bit, off.
So was this the bar that the guy set up, or was
this was when I got the address, I put the address into Google Maps because I was obviously driving there, and it said on it adult gentlemen's club or something, and I was thinking, okay, is that just a place, and then there's going to be something around there? Like, I didn't know. And then obviously when that text came through from behind, I was thinking, okay, I see what's going on. And that was basically what they'd done. The guy who had sort of hired this, he'd hired the strip club was still open, I think, to other people as well, but he just basically sent out invites for people to go to the strip club, and then they were playing Distracted Mario Kart as the main sort of event. So there was this big flat screen TV on the strip club dance floor at the back and controllers set up, 4 controllers, and you had to sit there and play Mario Kart and try not to get distracted by what might have been going on in front of the TV.
See, I think you would have been fantastic at that, bruv, because you're really good at
super easy.
You're really good at racing and looking at chat at the same time. So I mean, you could have got best out of both worlds.
So you're saying is like I'm really good at looking at vaginas and video games at the same time.
Exactly.
So yeah, it wasn't.
What's the difference?
It wasn't just. That was the thing with the strip club. It wasn't like this is the first strip club that myself or Xerxes had ever been to. And Hoopo didn't know that it was going to be this sort of thing either. He just got given an address and gave it to me, and that was all that. So none of us knew what it was all about until we got there. And we weren't sort of eased into it or anything by a sort of a topless strip club first or anything.
It's an interesting choice of words.
Yeah, interesting choice of words. It was fully nude in this like dark corner of town, just boobs, vaginas everywhere. This is totally going to get demonetized on YouTube.
I was going to say
that's gone.
Make 5 cents on an episode, so
yeah. So that was quite the experience. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I saw strippers, they did like it was for my university for Freshers Week. That's like the first week you get back in the UK. It's called Freshers
University? Week. This was part of the curriculum.
This was part of the entertainment in the first week that you got there. So there was a strippers thing at the student union. So we went there, and they eventually.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting. Did you say strippers union?
No, students union.
Oh, okay. I was like, you just
so every university in the UK has a students' union, which is essentially just a bar and a restaurant for most places, and a nightclub usually. So we went there and sat down, started drinking and whatnot, and my girlfriend that was with me got stopped at the door because they had to check with the strippers that it was all right that she could be in the audience, because apparently some strippers get funny when there's women in the audience.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, yeah, it's fine. So they came out and they were just all fully nude. I was like, these aren't strippers. they're not stripping at all.
Naked women.
Naked women. What's going on?
Where's the stripping?
They ended up doing a lot more I'm pretty sure they weren't strippers, because one of them came out chewing bubble gum. And she took it out of her mouth and placed it on her inner thigh and asked a guy to bite it off her inner thigh.
That sounds like a stripper to me, honestly. Like,
really? Okay, yeah. Well,
I've never been to a strip club. I visited my friend at college who was in a frat, and they were having like an alumni weekend party, and they hired 2 strippers to come over. Yeah. And I was so uncomfortable. I hated it. But they did like wild stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, one of those things, they're good. They're good salespeople. They're like, anybody got a $20 bill? Anybody got a $20 bill? And so they're like, yeah, I'll take it. They took the $20 bill, folded it like hot dog wise, like long wise. You got a hamburger bun or a hot dog, so you fold it like a hot dog bun. Yeah. Placed it on the bridge of someone's nose, and then picked it up without their hands.
Without Jesus.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I I'm not, looking to go back to a strip club at any, in any way. It wasn't something that necessarily I felt like I needed in my life. I'm okay. I've had the experience, I guess, and I'm okay with that. We can leave that in San Diego where it happened, and that's fine. It is slightly uncomfortable.
It is.
It's not. I don't particularly.
Complete objectification and like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's like I have I have a favorite comedian right now and his name's Mark Norman, and he has this joke. He's like, I went out with my friend to pick up girls, and we didn't get anybody, and so he said, screw it, let's go to a strip club. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That's like going fishing, not catching any fish, and going, screw it, let's go to an aquarium. It's like,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
so how was it?
Ironically, that wasn't in Vegas as well. Considering we just spent 3 days in Vegas, didn't even do a strip. We actually thought maybe we should actually go to a strip club while we were in Vegas, but we didn't get the time to do it. Again, just to have that experience, but it probably wouldn't have been, full on nude in the dark, dingy corners of the town, maybe. But that happened in San Diego as part of the whole TwitchCon party thing. So, well, not the official TwitchCon party. There weren't strippers at the official TwitchCon party.
Wow, that's why it's the hottest ticket in town. So how was the rest of the con? Was it worth your time?
It was actually. It was the best TwitchCon that our best convention, actually, gaming convention that I've been to. I think they really got it right this time. I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that it was at the San Diego Convention Center. That place is just meant, it's built on hosting conventions, and they do it so well that even with Twitch that often do things wrong and mess things up, like you just can't do that at that venue. So,
well, that's good.
And there's stuff on there. There was plenty to do. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Much better than.
How did the meetup go?
The meetup was fun. That was I met a few people who names aren't often in the chat or anything, or people who've watched on YouTube more so than anything else.
The lesser spotted lurker.
Yeah, there were. Most of the people who came to the meetup were lurkers, actually, which is interesting. So shout out to the lurkers who came to the meetup, and it was fun. It was fun talking to people one-on-one, and I signed some things and stuff. I still feel uncomfortable in those situations because I don't feel like I should be there, but it was nice meeting people. From
first-hand experience, you do look uncomfortable as well.
Yeah. That's reasonable. So that was a busy week because it was Vegas for 3 days, then TwitchCon for 3 days, then we drove to LA to do Disney, and then Universal, which I recommend Universal, and the studio tour if you ever get a chance to do that. That was really good.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then we were able to relax, and then we got ill. Did
you do Galaxy's Edge?
Yes, that was really good.
I'm so jealous.
The whole Star Wars area of Disney is incredible.
Really?
Like it feels like you've got on a plane or a spaceship and been taken to a Star Wars planet, and you're walking around. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
It would be worth going to Disney just to go to that area. Like, even if you spend most of your time in that area and then just do a few things outside of that. It's just the way that they've built it. It just you feel so immersed as if you're on, Tatooine or something. It's just incredible.
It does look great.
Highly recommend.
I'm super jealous.
Yeah, it was really good. So
good stuff.
It was a good trip, a long trip, but it was fun. Glad to be home for a prolonged period of time now, though.
Yeah, we'll have to. It's been ages since we've done like a UK meetup and stuff. We should go to like an Insomnia or something.
Yeah, we probably should. IDT, you gonna come over to the UK?
Well,
were you not supposed to be coming over at some point?
I wanted to. I don't know. I took like a week off in October for my birthday. I never take time off of work. I don't know why. I know it's stupid. Everyone always tells me you have to take your time off. You use it or you lose it.
That's
but
true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a passport right now, so I gotta get that. that in order, and I just got hit. My friends just booked a trip to Utah. It'll be my first time out past the Mississippi, but it's going to be upwards of like $1,200 to do this trip. So I was like,
Yeah.
That's why if you saw me looking at my phone, 5 minutes ago, and I went,
yeah,
that's what that text
was. The price.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
oh god, it's gonna hurt. But we're gonna go snowboarding in Utah and have a good time. So, but yeah, I'd like if I get my passport, England will definitely be my first international stop. So
cool. Yeah, because you've been around in different countries and stuff. You've never been to the UK though. Is that right?
Never been in the UK.
Okay.
I've been to Ireland twice, Italy, and Spain.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been to Bermuda, which is technically an English territory, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Well,
it doesn't count, but
it's very complicated. So I wanted to ask. Should we save this until the gaming news section? I think we should actually. Let's do that.
Which one? Because we were just talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, I was thinking about Stadia.
It's fine.
Damn it.
We'll save Star Wars, the other Star Wars topic, for the gaming news bit as well.
Yeah.
So I was on a trip. RDT in the pre-show said that he didn't seem to really have anything that's happened in the last 3 months to talk about of any note. No, just work.
Yeah, pretty much just working.
You need to take some time off.
You do.
I took a week off. I went to Vermont. I did some hiking, had some really good beer. That's about it.
How is it treating you, like working in the Big Apple? Are you still enjoying it?
Well, yeah, I'm still enjoying it. My one coworker took off yesterday, and so I was like swamped covering her. It's insane. Our position is basically like we are the two people that approve deals and like push campaigns through the system. So when she's gone, I have to do everything. Okay. So yeah. So I drank last night. I'm a little hungover. That's what I'm drinking now.
So, must be nice to have someone that covers you at work. I'm the only person that does what I do in my entire business. So whenever I get back from time off, it's like, 4,000 emails. Awesome.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I know what that feels like. If I don't do any work, I don't get paid.
I took not this past week, but the week before, I took that week off as well. And they called me up on the Wednesday as I was streaming on Twitch and was like, yeah, something's gone horribly wrong. You need to fix it. I was like,
oh no.
Oh god. Damn. I just ignore. Honestly, I'm like, this is like, my time.
Why do we have 2 months of testing before stuff goes live?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
We QA this for a reason. What the hell?
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun.
Hopefully, you get paid extra for these, extra like bits of things that you have to do.
Only if I ask for it, and I rarely do.
Okay.
But. Yeah,
I was going to continue on to RDT not doing anything, and then Hammer, you had a trip down to London that you. Where did you go? EGX.
Yeah, we were doing a bunch of stuff. So we framed the trip around EGX, which, if you don't know, it's a big gaming convention in London. It happens at the XL. It used to be in Birmingham right after Insomnia, but they've moved it back to the XL now.
I went to it when it was at the XL before it moved to Birmingham, like 2012 or 2013 or something. Yeah.
So I went with Jessie, Thieves in the Night, in chat. If she's there, so it was the first time that we got to meet up, and it was a really good trip. First, we did loads of we spent the week there, and we did on the first day we did the Harry Potter Warner Brothers studio tour in London. I think have you done that before, Bruce?
Yeah, it is really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I was a bit. I looked at the ticket prices. I was just like, really? That's
Yeah,
how much it
it's
is for a
like
ticket.
£100 or
But-
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you absolutely do get your money's worth out of it. It's great.
Yeah, it is.
It's like-
If you've ever seen the Harry Potter movie, like I genuinely wasn't interested in Harry Potter at all until Xerxes really wanted to go to this tour, so we started watching the movies to get me caught up before we went. And now I kind of I like it probably just as much as anybody else. It's fun stories. But then going to that tour was incredible. Seeing all the props, seeing all the places that they filmed at, and the way that they have it all set out. It was really impressive.
There were so many things that I thought in the films were like CGI, but were actually like practical effects and stuff, and like all like the mechanical stuff and everything that was all handcrafted and everything. There's so much work that went into it and everything. It was just, it was really, really interesting, really good.
It was really good going into the Great Hall as well. Like this is this fully built hall. Like that's not just green screened or anything. It's full thing.
Yeah. It's I didn't realize how long it was. I checked my watch after we went round because we were both absolutely knackered after walking around it. 5 kilometers to walk around the whole thing. It was crazy.
Does that mean tired?
Knackered. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, were they drinking this whole time?
Yeah, no, it was really good. Really impressed with that. And then we had EGX over the next couple of days. We did that because Jessie wanted to. There was some of her favorite YouTubers were going to it, and they were having meet and greets and stuff. So she got to meet up with them, and that was really good.
Speaking of EGX, the XL. Is exactly correct, Mark Verstappen. That's where the last race of the Formula E season is this year. It goes through the XL and outside.
They actually had a full size Formula E car set up just inside, promoting it and stuff. So,
that's going to be interesting.
Really
Like that's the first ever motor race that's going to have been held with part of the track indoors. And you can only do that with an electric series, obviously, because of the.
It's not. I don't think it can technically be classed as indoors because I don't think. So the way that the XL set up is that where the track goes is actually under the XL. So there's like loads of like loading bays under the XL, and that's where it's going through.
But
so
they're having like stands and
outdoors.
stuff and
it's
places to sit inside, though, right? From what I understand.
Yeah, it's more like a tunnel, really.
Okay. That'll still be interesting.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah. So EGX was really interesting. That was the first one of them that I had done. There was loads of stuff on show. So there was like the first showing of the first available playthrough of the Final Fantasy VII remake, first playthrough in the UK of Marvel's Avengers, the new one. We got to go to a 45-minute presentation on Cyberpunk where they did a live demo of it and whatnot, which was really, really good. I tell you, man, if you think Red Dead Redemption 2 is immersive, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, really?
Cyberpunk is nothing. There's nothing like it. It's just insane how immersive it is. It's like going through an actual city with like loads of people having different conversations all over the place, and like because there's like rival factions and stuff, there's explosions going off in like miles away in the distance and everything. It's just it's absolutely crazy.
The hype is justified then.
I think so, because I was sort of on the fence about it because of the first person sort of stuff.
Yeah, same.
It's all in first person. Like even the cutscenes are in first person. The only time it's in third person is when you're driving, and it doesn't have to be in third person when you're driving. But the demo was really interesting. They showed off like 2 builds. So like they did one mission as like a hacker sort of stealthy build, and then one build as a big scary brute girl that just like absolutely smashed everything. And yeah, it was super, super interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jessie saying Holly Bennett hugged her as well. Yeah, she was super happy with that.
Who's Holly Bennett?
Some of the, she does some of the like. Well, she used to do some of the PlayStation access stuff on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's like the Major Nelson of the of PlayStation.
kind of. Yeah, she was doing some of the presentations for Cyberpunk. I mean, what I did like about the Cyberpunk presentation was that it was a lot better organized than any of the other activities that were there. So like if you wanted to play Marvel's Avengers or Final Fantasy, 3 hours you had to wait in a queue.
Nah, no
3 hours.
chance. No chance.
There's no. I'm not doing that.
Nah.
3 hours.
I'll wait for the
I'm
game
not
to come
wasting-
out.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting 3 hours. Just
I'd rather wait 4 months than
Yeah,
3 hours in a line.
Yeah.
exactly. I'm not waiting 3 hours in a queue. But like the way Cyberpunk did it was, you turned up to their booth and got a time slot, and then you came back at the time slot and just went straight in. It was really well organized, and yeah, it was good. It was good. Cyberpunk's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it.
Cyber. Yeah, the opposite of what Raymo just said. Cyberpunk is going to be a lot better than Cybertruck.
Probably.
That's not what he
I
said.
think so.
He said the Cybertruck is better than the Cybertruck.
That's why I said the opposite of what Raymo just said.
Oh, sorry. I'm not listening to anybody. You guys all have like English accents and Scottish accents. I need a good old American boy to come back, but he's too busy slinging cheese on the fucking bread. So.
So yeah, we did EGX for 2 days. Oh, we also got to meet up with Percy in chat. Shout out to Percy. Hi Percy.
Hi, Percy.
Which was cool.
All the shout outs in chat today.
Yeah, on the third day, technically the fourth, but the third day I booked tickets to the Lion King for Jesse and I, the live stage show, because she'd always wanted to see it. So we thought we'd go and see the West End production of it, and we got a bit of a surprise when we went there. So we got it was a matinee performance on the Sunday, and we turned up there, and the street was completely blocked off. Like the whole street was completely blocked off, so we didn't know really what was going on. So we had decided we were going to have a meal beforehand, so we went into the pub next door for lunch, and I was like searching, trying to work out what was going on and whatnot. So we came out, and there was a couple of security guards standing outside, and we're like, what's going on? And they're like, well, if you've got tickets, just go around the corner sort of thing. So we went around the corner and walked through, and it turned out that it was the 20th anniversary of the show, and as part of that, they were doing this like massive 3-day event. So the first night they had like Elton John performing and whatnot, and then the second night was like a big charity thing, and then the third day, which is what we were doing, was a massive red carpet event for all the staff and crew and actors and dancers that had ever been in the show over the past 20 years.
Wow,
they all
Jesus!
They all got to be part of the audience and stuff, and so me and Jesse were on the red carpet walking down, talking to people and stuff, and yeah, it was really good. We were kind of like wondering if the cast and crew were there, because like during the performance, every time there was like a scene change and new dancers came on, just the massive roar from the crowd, and everyone was like super happy. And yeah, there was a concert afterwards, like a mini concert with Lebo M, who did part of the composition for Lion King and everything, and all the big execs from Disney and whatnot were there, and yeah, it was crazy.
That's kind of crazy. And you didn't even know about it. You just looked into, being part of that because you got the tickets at the right time.
When I booked the tickets, it didn't say anything about that at all. So it was just
that's good.
Crazy.
Good
Crazy.
stuff. So good trip then.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic trip.
Cool.
Great company, great events, and yeah, it was a good time.
Good stuff.
Was the cryogenically frozen brain of Walt Disney there?
It was actually, yeah. They wheeled it on right at the end,
just in a hoverbot, just saying like anti-Semitic things.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Amazing.
And so before we get onto the gaming news, we got to do a little bit of GTA nonsense. because there's supposedly...
Why?
You know how GTA always has the summer DLC and the winter DLC? They've basically been doing it for the last few years now.
No,
So
I don't know that.
it's going to be a winter DLC. Pretty much everyone's talking about it. It's going to be a DLC in December. And of course...
Is it going to be boats, though?
Is it going to be...
Boats.
Boats? Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
You know,
Sea bases.
I've been talking about that for years now. I don't think that's going to happen. So since they always get released on a Tuesday, can either be the 3rd, the 10th, or the 17th. My birthday is
And
the
of
10th.
course, yeah.
The most likely date for the DLC to drop is the 10th. If I'm testing cars on my birthday, I'm just going to be sad. That's all it is. I'm just going to be sad.
10th of December?
10th of December. Tuesday.
Yeah, it sure is.
I'm just going to be sad.
My birthday's the 10th of October.
10th of October. So
Yeah.
we missed your
Oh,
birthday.
we missed your birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday
you did.
for a month
I turned
ago.
25.
Well, you're only halfway through your 20s. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm not going to turn 30 in the next month. You know.
So
And
is this going to
completely miss out on
be
the time of my life.
is this going to be the last DLC of your 20s, or was Casino?
That's still up in the air, isn't it? It could be either.
Who knows?
We don't know yet.
Who knows?
So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind, that I may be in a very depressed state on the 10th. If it gets confirmed
Just don't do
beforehand,
it.
but
Just don't do it.
I have to do
I
it.
mean, I feel
you
It's
don't.
work. It's like I can't just not, go. Say I had a job, and I had to work on my birthday. I couldn't just not turn up because it wasn't because it was my birthday.
No, you'll. Hey, whoa! I know a guy who takes his birthday off every single year because it's his own personal holiday.
I mean, that's what I
Okay.
would try to do as well, but not all jobs could help you. allow you to
Listen,
do
I
that.
think you'll get more engagement if you release it 2 days after the DLC, because people will be like, "I was waiting for this." Like, where were you too late? Hashtag late.
You're not taking into account all of the people who weren't waiting for it and would just happen to come upon my stuff if I upload it on the right day.
Yeah, but what? I mean, then you're leaving Mr. Boss out for 2 days without content. So think about that.
So, I feel that you know when the DLC comes out, you usually do a stream during the day. I feel you could count that as your birthday stream.
Yeah, I wouldn't do like a birthday stream on a night as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So theoretically, I could have an evening to myself on my birthday. But if it's confirmed beforehand from Rockstar that it's going to be released on the 10th, then I'll probably maybe have my birthday and celebrations and stuff on the Monday instead.
Wow.
On
Wow.
the 9th.
Marching to Rockstar's beat. Wow, okay.
Well, no. Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's your last birthday of your 20s, so
I'll be
do something spectacular.
I'll
technically-
be celebrating being 30 a day early than I need to. Oh man. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
God damn, I'm growing my hair out right now, and God, it's in that awkward stage right now. I hate it. Everything needs to grow so I can just comb it down.
It's
or
an
back or
RDT
whatever.
faffing with Hearst podcast. This one
I hate it. And my nose, I'm stuff like it's winter. I'm getting
every few
runny.
seconds.
But I am rich. I do have AirPods, so you know.
Seeing it's your birthday. I like what Pseudonymous just said in the chat. Saying it's your birthday when it's not your birthday. Where could you have gotten that idea? It's a fair point. I don't think anybody could have a go at me for that. So we got gaming news to do, but we've got a lot of gaming news to do because it was 3 months of gaming
a few
news.
bits and pieces. Yeah.
But let's open up the phone bank and allow people to jump in. If you've got a question to ask, jump in the phone bank on Discord. If you are a regular Twitch subscriber, Patreon supporter, or a YouTube member.
I'll get around to you when I can.
Yeah.
Or we can just bring you in. And
Yeah.
I'm not,
Well,
Yeah,
just
just
whatever.
be normal. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anyone's ever like no one has ever gone off script. We've never had an issue with anybody trying to ask questions.
Well, all right.
Have we?
Not maliciously, but we've had people going off script before. But
Okay.
anyway,
Yeah, but just don't say the N word. That's all. Like,
yeah.
That's all I ask.
Jesus.
So Star Wars.
Yes.
You guys want to talk about this? I've heard about it being very good, but I haven't played it because,
so
of course,
good.
I don't play games. So you guys talk, and I will listen, and maybe you'll convince me to play it.
Oh my god, it's so good.
If you're a Star Wars fan, even if you're not, go and get this game. It's so good.
Oh my god, I was scared away at first because I watched a couple videos of channels that I trust reviewing it, and they said, yeah, it's really good. You know, they're blah 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 blah. And then when I went to go look at it on the Xbox Marketplace, all 1-star reviews. It was like, this is blah blah blah. This is nothing like blah blah. You know, stuff blah blah blah. And I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't get this. People are saying there's a lot of issues, whatever. And
yeah, I think there was on standard Xbox.
maybe I got an Xbox One X because I got AirPods and I'm rich, you know. And also,
that's why I was saying it. I think on standard Xbox, I think the game really struggled, really struggled. I've seen bits where
that's not surprising given the quality of the console.
I've seen bits where people are trying to walk into new areas and they've not even loaded yet, so they just end up falling through the floor.
I've definitely experienced some issues, but not like something crazy. And one of the reviews I watched was like, if you're on an Xbox or a PS4, put it on performance mode because just cap it at 30 or 60 or whatever it is, and 1080p. I don't have to play the game at 4K. I don't even have a 4K TV. It doesn't matter to me. Graphics have never been the thing I care about in games.
I would always prefer to, if there's an option in games to have it at 4K 30 or 1080 60 or something, I would always rather have 1080 60.
Yeah, it makes no difference to me.
4K.
To the untrained eye.
Yeah.
It's all right though, because I played it on PC at 4K 60 because I'm a rich guy. So.
All right, everybody flaunting their wealth.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. But the game is so good, man.
What is good about it? Is it story? Is it gameplay? Is it what?
For me, it was the story and the action parts. The story and the action parts were just phenomenal. Like, the starting to that game is the best starting to a game that I've seen in recent years. It's great. It's so good. It's just, the action is on point. It really does a really good job of, teaching you the basics, but, teaching you the basics but not being really obvious about it. It's like it feels like it's part of the story.
Doesn't give you any annoying tool tips like Rockstar do, for example, I'm guessing.
There's some tool tips there's press X to do this or whatever, but it's not over the top.
And you do need to
Rockstar
know that
games.
Because you're clicking analog to open doors. That took me 5 minutes to get used to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Clicking the right analog stick to open boxes and stuff. So I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, some of the controls I don't really necessarily agree with, like holding L2 to climb.
Yeah, that was a little weird at first, but I got used to that too. It's it's things that at first you're going to be like, okay, this is weird, but if you really like the game and you're really into it, you're going to get used to it. So
yeah, to set the scene a little bit, it happens 5 years after episode 3. That's when
episode 3. Okay.
Yeah, so it's
like the Rogue One era.
Yeah, so the Republic has fallen, the Empire is on the rise. All the Jedi have pretty much been exterminated. It's great. It's really interesting. You play a young Jedi who managed to escape the Purge. And that's it.
Order 66, remember that?
Yeah.
But if you I think the number one concern or critique that I saw in the Xbox Marketplace reviews were you're supposed to be a Jedi, but you can't just eliminate squads of people with no effort. I'm like, well, that's not it's not Force Unleashed. If you played the Force Unleashed games and you like those, this is different. I'm not saying you won't like this game, but don't expect that to be this game. You're building up to that point. You're a Jedi that hasn't been a Jedi because he's been in hiding for so many years, and he's trying to find his way with the Force and with his abilities. So
he's forgotten a large portion of his training, unfortunately. But
yeah,
he remembers.
And that's
he
what
remembers along the way.
Yeah, that's the way that they get you into progressing through the game.
Yeah,
and learning more stuff.
I tend to agree partially with some of the reviews in that if you're using a lightsaber against a stormtrooper, generally one slash of a lightsaber will kill a stormtrooper, you would think, if you're going by the films. Not in this game.
Okay.
Not in this game. I'm not interested in Dark Souls or the mechanics of Dark Souls, and this game is primarily based on that. A lot of the mechanics from Dark Souls, including the very sort of complex combat.
Yeah, I'd heard about
from
that.
Dark Souls is taken from that. So what I did was I played it on story mode because I wasn't interested in the combat in the slightest. And I had it was great. It was great. Loved it.
That's why you're done with it. That's why you're done with the game, and I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not interested in like games being like super unbelievably challenging. And
it's really not.
I had a hoot. It is for me. So,
okay. Yeah,
learning combat patterns and whatnot. Can't be bothered with it. Not interested. Just want to get on hack and slash and just destroy everything. And played on story mode. Absolutely loved it.
I got to be honest with you. I kind of feel that way about the Wolfenstein games. It's like, they tried to antagonize you into playing on a lower difficulty. They're like, oh, this is the baby mode. But honestly, I just want to kill Nazis and like blow people. Yeah. Like that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt with this game. If like as you said, Voodoo Cthulhu in chat, he hated Dark Souls. So yeah, if you just play it on story mode, there are some enemies that are still a bit finicky, but it's not nearly as bad as some of the streams that I've watched.
I mean, I'd heard that it was quite similar to Dark Souls, and there's quite a big, unlike Dark Souls, it has the difficulty slider, so there's supposedly quite a big difficulty jump just from the base level that they suggest, the default, and the one level up. So I feel like I'm probably closer to you in that respect, where I'd probably start it on the base default level and see how it goes. And then if I'm thinking, I don't have time for this, I don't want to do this, I just want to play the game, I'll just knock it down. But
yeah, you can change it.
What's wrong, Addy?
Oh, God.
What's wrong?
Tell you
what,
I
would say it's not as much like Dark Souls. It's more like Sekiro, which is
a Souls-like game.
Right.
Yeah.
Which they're made by the same people. I'm not on the Jedi Grandmaster, the highest difficulty. I'm on the next level down. But I feel like I could beat the game on Grandmaster. It's really not that hard if you're into those games, which I kind of am.
I've never played one of those games either.
It's so good that they put in that large level. There's 4 different game modes that you can play it on, 4 different difficulties, and it's so good that they put that in so that it makes the game more inclusive. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, the voice acting in it, stunning. It's so good.
Oh man, it is so very good.
Like really amazingly good. And I don't know, Bruff, have you seen Rogue One?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the characters from Rogue One pops up in it. And,
okay.
It's him that's playing it. The same guy that was in Rogue One.
Oh, that's good.
It's just great.
Go on.
So good.
Complete the mission.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal, and the sound design too is just perfect for Star Wars.
It's funny because
fun in years.
Oh yeah, for sure, without a doubt. It's funny because the guy you play as, I don't have an issue with the actor. He's in the American version of Shameless, which
He's in
is
Gotham as well, right?
he's in Gotham too. He plays the Joker, and I don't have an issue with him, but like for some reason, I think he's a great actor, but I didn't like him as an actor at the same time. But I think he does a really great job in this game.
Yeah,
and he's
I was.
in my opinion.
This was my first experience with seeing him in anything, and I was a bit on the fence to begin with. But by the end of the game, I was just like, "All right, cool, I get this guy.
Yeah,
It's cool." But yeah,
maybe that's my next playthrough.
so good, so
yeah.
good.
There's just some absolutely jaw-dropping moments in it.
Yeah.
Just I won't spoil anything, but
Okay.
just some of the action pieces in it are just. It's the same guy that directed God of War 3 that directed this game, Stig Asmussen, and it shows. It's great. So good.
Honestly, up until this point, sorry to cut you off, Prof, but like, I think this is one of the better Star Wars stories in a while.
Yeah,
like the movies.
absolutely.
The hell is that? There's a cat outside.
Hey, cat.
So what, like, would you say that it excels in one particular thing, like story or the gameplay or just those big set piece moments, or is it just so good in all of them?
Together. It's everything together. The game is also constantly rewarding you with cosmetic stuff. It's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Just constantly.
No microtransactions. That should be a
microtransactions whatsoever.
Yeah.
0 microtransactions. You can buy the premium version if you want. That gives you like a few extra cosmetics at the start, but it doesn't give you any buffs or anything. It just gives you a few extra cosmetic options, and like the way that the rewards and stuff are placed, they're placed really well so that you get like a sneak peek of them off in the distance, or like you see them out the corner of your eye. Okay. So you know that there's one there, so you know that you have to work out how to try and get there.
Right.
And yeah, it's really just solidly designed.
Really good all-round game experience.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Just great.
Yeah.
There are, to go to the negative slightly, it is a little bit janky in some places in terms of jumping. RDT, have you had some issues with jumping and catching ropes and stuff?
Honestly, not. Maybe like once or twice. No, personally, I have not. And I saw those complaints. I saw people talking about the platforming elements not being the best part, but
they're not super tight. But that is my only sort of gripe. And because of the way it works, if you fall off like a cliff, you immediately respawn exactly where you left off. You don't have to go back to the only time you go back to a save point.
You don't die.
The only time you go back to a save point is if an enemy beats you.
Right, okay.
If the enemy beats you, then you go back to the save point. There's no autosaves in this. You have to go to set save points.
Okay.
And if you choose to rest, then it gives you all your health items back, but it also respawns all of the enemies in the area.
Like Dark Souls or
so you've got to weigh it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's something that I'm probably going to check out then.
Yeah, you need to. It's so good.
Oh, so good. I haven't been obsessed with the game in a while, but like this is a game that every night I get home from work, I'm like, all right, I'm putting in 3 hours of this.
Yeah.
I need, because I just want to get. Not that I want to get through it. I just love the game and I love exploring and I love fighting and it's so good.
You seem to talk about it in the same way that you talked about Red Dead 2 when that came out.
Yeah, even I'm more obsessed with this than I was with Red Dead. I think, which you know, and I had a great time with Red Dead. I thought the story was great. I thought the gameplay was great, but I think this is better.
Yeah, cool.
I was so pleasantly surprised by the game, given that it's an EA game.
Yeah.
And the track history, they need to do more shit like this. They need to do more shit like this because
all of them do.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, this like sells fantastically, and it's a blueprint for everyone else.
Yeah,
and it'll start a revolution of actually going back to good, solid games that you don't have to grind. And none of this game felt like a grind.
Yeah, because it
Like,
was
none of it.
it was
Like,
it was
you arrived at exactly the right time in the game. You didn't have to go away and learn any stuff to beat any of the bosses or anything. You could just go through, and as you learned, as you got better, it was paced exactly right.
because it wasn't trying to shoehorn in any time saver microtransactions.
Exactly.
All right.
It's a
So
good, solid old game.
yeah, going back to basics. The next thing that I had written down for gaming stuff was talking about the Stadia and Hammer's experiences with it, because he mentioned that he'd pre-ordered it, and then he put a note on the document saying that he cancelled his pre-order. So, why did you cancel your pre-order? What was the thing that tipped you over the edge?
A couple of reasons. First one was the game lineup was rubbish.
Yeah.
For it. They increased the game lineup 2 days before it was released, but I'd already cancelled my pre-order by then.
And would if the full lineup had been there, would it have made a difference to your decision?
No, because none of the games were really very appealing in the slightest. And also their business model still wasn't entirely clear to me, and I couldn't be bothered going and looking at it. So I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. And then some of the reviews started coming out, and they were like, "Yeah, it's okay. It's not, it's not great."
Yeah, I feel like your decision was probably a good one.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I've saved a bit of money there.
Yeah, it seems like Stadia has it's come out and nobody likes it. No, everyone who's had it has had a negative experience with it.
I can still hear you guys. I'll be right back.
Okay, bye.
Because of Oh
yeah, rich boy headphones.
I think the more I thought about it as well, like their claims of, it's so good because you don't have to download the game. It's like, yeah, you don't have to download the game. Instead, you're constantly downloading the game.
Yeah, you're constantly streaming it, which means you're going to use up more than what you would have done just downloading it in the first place.
I think they said the facts and the figures for 4K 60 streaming, which my internet would be capable of doing, and I've got a 4K TV. They were saying 30 gig an hour. 30 gig an hour?
Yeah, it's insane.
Or you could just download 50 gig in one chunk, and then you wouldn't have to download anything again.
The fact that you have to pay full price for the games and you don't really ever own them, all the missing features that they didn't have when they were it's been such a bad launch, and they deserve whatever failure that they get from this. I think we won't be talking about Stadia in a year or two's time. We'll only be talking about it in the same way that people talk about the Ouya now. It will just be gone.
I don't necessarily think that. I think
ADT, you're muted, by the way, or something's gone wrong, because I saw you trying to speak there and nothing.
It's gone out of Bluetooth range.
No, because his microphone should be connected, I think. So I don't know what's.
Yeah, who knows?
What were you going to say? You don't think it'll?
Yeah, I think it may be, but I think ISPs need to come a long way before it will be properly adopted as a way of doing things. I think it's still not quite there in terms of tech and service providers and whatnot working together. I think the quote. Yeah, you're back, mate. I think the quote from Phil Harrison, who's their CEO of Stadia or whatever. I think his quote when he got asked about ISPs and data caps, he was like, "ISPs are smart. They'll learn to adapt." No, they won't.
No.
They won't give a fuck about this.
No, they won't. They won't care.
Like, nah. Don't really care about this, to be honest, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see Stadia doing much, at least for the foreseeable future, and I don't necessarily trust Google to keep supporting it for a long time, because, I mean, in their history they haven't done that. They've just gotten rid of things that don't work, so...
Exactly, yeah.
So what's next?
I put down a game that I played just recently that I thought that you would quite like, Bruff. It's called Superliminal. It's a
Did
game
you
by a
tell me
studio
about
called.
this?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a game. It's a game by a studio called Pillow Castle Games.
It's quite the name.
And yeah, indeed, it's basically Portal meets the Stanley Parable meets Antechamber.
Those are all three. Those are three games that I like. So yeah, that's
Yeah, so I won't spoil too much of it. Basically, you are taking part in a sleep therapy session, and the game is coded as if you're having a dream. So you know how in dreams you'll maybe you'll be walking down the street and you'll see like your childhood home or whatever, but something will be not quite right about it. It's kind of a
I
little
feel like
bit
there's
like
always that
so-
feeling in a dream where you recognize where you are, but it's not
Yeah.
somewhere that you
No,
recognize.
something's just not.
It's like, this is
quite
my house,
there.
but it doesn't look like my
So-
house. But I know that it's my house.
Yeah, it's coded in a little bit like that, and also if it's also coded in the way of sort of lucid dreams, so you can change perceptions of things.
Okay.
And that's how you go through the puzzles and whatnot. Thought it was a really, really good game. Really enjoyed it. And I recommend it if anybody's into those three games that I mentioned. Stanley Parable,
Superliminal.
Portal, and Antechamber. Yeah, it's great. It's
Okay.
it's on the Epic Store. It's an Epic Store exclusive. Oh God. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Really enjoyed it.
Cool.
And I thought I'd mention it because it seems to be quite low on people's radar at the moment. So
Then get it on your radars, people.
Yeah,
Superliminal.
it's a good game.
I might stream it. Sounds fun. Sounds right up my
I think
alley.
you should.
Do we want to talk
it is.
about Bethesda?
Oh, good God.
Fallout 76.
Dude. Oh, man. What? Like, the brashness of this is incredible. Imagine charging people $60 for a broken game and then before fixing it saying, hey, you want to pay us $100 a year to play it?
I know.
It's like, what?
It's
What kind of
insane.
brainwashed idiots does Bethesda think that we are? It's like,
I mean, at
what
least
the hell?
at least you can still play it. Like it's $100 for extra stuff. But
Yes.
it's
Yeah, sure.
$100 for stuff that people bought the game expecting to have or expected to be added into the game just as part of the price of the game. Like, you know, when they're selling it
takes-
extra.
It takes what we've been saying for however long this podcast has been on and for however long people have been complaining about it, like to the next level. Like-
Yeah.
Like we complain about Rockstar being bad because the payouts on missions aren't great and they price the car so high. You can still play the game and get that stuff. You like
It's
you can't have
crazy.
a private server because oh my god, unless you man, unreal.
Yeah, it's insane.
Pretty bad.
How much money do you want? Like, how much is enough to these people?
Yeah, I know. I feel like Bethesda at the minute is the height of just everything bad that could happen in a game.
I have a feeling that maybe it's not necessarily. This is going to sound bad. I don't think it's necessarily greed. It's more trying to make up the money that they were going to make originally. They thought they were going to make originally.
Interesting.
I think they're
hypothesis,
possibly
Dr. Hammer.
doing this pack because they've been told from their investors that, hey, you said this was going to make tons of money and it's not making tons of money. What's going on?
So now we need
Sort
to
that
get
out.
more money
I'm
out of the
killing
people
my
who are
investment.
already playing it.
Yeah. I think that's probably where it's coming from. So I don't think it's necessarily coming from a place of greed, even though
It's more desperation because the game is
it's
failure.
greed, but not necessarily from Bethesda's part, more from their investors' part.
Yeah. Either way,
But honestly, it's priced so high.
it's so bad.
Like I could see people maybe falling for it if it was like $5 a month or $50 for a year. It's like, okay, that's not too bad. Like, what is it, $10 a month and $100 for the year? Is that what it is?
Something like that. Yeah.
That
It's so expensive.
Why?
For what you
Why?
get, like the amount of things
You
you
get
could
Disney
buy
Plus.
for that money and subscriptions, all the things that are subscription based now, like with Netflix and all that kind of stuff,
Everything, yeah.
Disney Plus,
Yeah,
whatever.
I suppose the other thing is the upkeep of the game. There will be upkeep to the game that they have to cover as well, cost wise. And if they're not selling, I don't know what the currency is it bottle caps or something? I don't know. If that premium currency isn't selling, then they've got to find
Atoms,
some other way to
Atoms,
make up.
But then
Atoms,
the other option is because the prices of the stuff in the shop that you have to buy with premium currency is huge as well. Like, it's kind of crazy that you have to. They gave out those 500 atoms or whatever it was for people who didn't get they got the nylon bag instead of the canvas bag, and then the 500 atoms that they gave as recompense for that, you couldn't even buy the canvas bag in game for that 500 atoms. So it's like,
exactly.
One other way that they could do it is lower the prices of things to produce more sales of stuff, and actually build things into the game that are gonna make people want to play it. But what do I know? I guess enough stupid people are buying this $100 a year subscription that it makes it worth it.
It's a lesson for other games companies on how to mismanage games, because this has just been this. I think this has been the worst thing in gaming.
I think
as
so.
A collective,
collectively from start to now.
From start, the most disaster-laden launch of any game there has ever been.
Yeah, so many controversies. Yeah, they announced like they went back on the whole pay-to-win type stuff. Like they're now gonna add stuff into the game that will give you help when they said that they wouldn't, and like it's just so many things that you can talk about with this game.
Oh, but wait, there's still a battle royale mode coming, so that's good. It's
insane.
Donald Trump
why
has a
would you
brother?
want to play? Why would you want to play a battle royale mode in a janky, buggy mess of a game that looks like it was coded for a PS3? When you could go and play Fortnite. I mean, I'm not a fan of Fortnite, but when you could go and play that instead, and it's
For
free, and you don't have to pay for the game, and you don't have to pay the monthly whatever. I mean, why? Who do they think this is going to sell to?
I know. The thing is, there's so many games out there, so many good games as well, and better games than Fallout 76. I just can't understand. I don't know.
Oh, it has. Apparently, the battle royale mode is already out, according to Aaron in chat. Sorry.
Oh, it is.
Sorry, Aaron.
It has battle royale now. Okay.
Who cares?
Yeah.
How many people are playing it?
How many people are playing the game?
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. Fallout 76, even more of a train wreck than it was last time we were here, which was unbelievable to imagine.
I was going to say, because during our time away, what are they called? Obsidian, the games company that was behind Fallout New Vegas. They came out with their own game, the Outer Worlds, which is
great.
Pretty much Fallout in space. And it's great. It's not buggy. It's coded in Unreal, so it doesn't look like it's coded for PS3.
To be fair, it is kind of buggy.
It's kind of buggy, but not as buggy as say Fallout, and it looks prettier.
Definitely not as buggy.
And I thought really the only way Bethesda's going to get out of this is if they go and buy Obsidian. And who's just bought Obsidian? Microsoft. Well done, Microsoft. So Microsoft bought Obsidian Games, and I hope they go on to do good things. I played Outer Worlds, didn't enjoy it in the slightest. I thought it was crap.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. It's not. I bought it because I've always been interested in Fallout games, but I don't like the setting. The post-apocalyptic setting doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really interest me. So I decided to buy this and play it, and I thought it was pretty terrible.
Wow.
It's not my cup of tea at all.
See, I'm a Xbox Game Pass subscriber, so I got to download it for free. So
Did you
I
try
probably-
it?
I bought it. But,
I played it in 4K at unlimited FPS, so you know.
Did you try it, RDT? Did you like it?
Yeah, I do like it. I don't know. I just haven't played it because it's one of those games that you have to be so immersed in it.
Yeah.
Like The Witcher 3. I for some reason can never get into The Witcher 3 because people always say it's, you have to be in the story when you're in the story.
Yeah.
I want to go back and play it. I think I'll probably go back after I finish Fallen Order and play the Outer Worlds. But yeah,
I found the story incredibly boring. There was nothing about the story that was interesting. All the quests were boring. There was one character.
I'm not so sure about the Outer World. Like I want to try it and play it, but I'm not sure I'm gonna like it. I'm kind of looking at it as something that might recreate that magic that I felt playing Mass Effect, but I feel like it's going to be too Fallouty because I tried Fallout 4. That's the only Fallout game I've ever tried, but it was too. It's too. I don't know what the word is. I just didn't like it enough. It was too RPG-y, maybe too finicky and too much stuff to do, and not enough. This is
very RPG-y in that you follow the main quest storyline and you go from person to person doing different things for them until they give you the thing that you need to get to progress the story. It's really.
I do like a little bit of.
It's not well produced. It's not well produced like mission chain.
Right.
So like you go to one, you get told to go to one person, and then they say, "Well, I'll only give you this if you go to another person," and then they say, "I'll only do this if you go to another person," and then you have to go all the way back to the start. And it's not for me. I mean,
it's not that RPGs
have moved on. RPGs have moved on since that. Yeah,
but that's I liked the whole Mass Effect series because of the dialogue and conversations and stuff, like talking to people, as Rev says in the chat. Outer Worlds isn't for you because it's very RPG and lots of dialogue and stuff. I feel like that aspect I would quite like. I don't know what it was when I played Fallout 4. I can't really put my finger on why I didn't enjoy it as much. I don't know whether it was just like too many options, too much stuff that I could have done. I don't know.
I love the Telltale games. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying that's not the thing that would make me. Yeah, that's not the thing that would make me not like it. I think it's more about the linearity of a story and going through a story and experiencing a story is what I prefer.
The humor in it is good.
Yeah.
When there is humor, that's what I'll say.
Okay.
I mean, I got so bored halfway through a quest that I just went back to the quest giver and killed him.
Which you can't do in that game.
So
you
bored.
Kill every single person in the game permanently and still finish the game.
I said, look, I can't do this. I'm so bored.
You just murdered him.
Just murdered him. Flat out murdered him.
Oh, in the beginning where you like crash land, then you go and you find that guy in the cave.
Yeah, I shot him in the face too.
So did I. I was like, no one's around. I'm just gonna murder this guy.
Jesus.
Yeah, I did that too. Well, it annoyed me because it gave me the option, because I put a lot of stats into like medical and things like that.
Yeah.
So it gave me the option to patch him up because he'd been in some sort of accident.
He got shot.
But then I chose
one of
the other dialogue options because I wanted to learn a bit more before patching him up. And then the game just removed that option of patching him up. So I was just like, well, fuck it. Shoot him in the face.
Yeah, I put all my.
This is the game's fault that you're dead. The game's fault is the game's fault that you're dead, Sunshine. Sorry.
I put all my points into like dialogue and persuasion.
Yeah.
So I was like,
me too.
I was like, why don't you give me your gun? And he was like, oh yeah, it's a Spacer's Choice. You've tried the rest, now try the best. Spacer's Choice. I got it. I was like, here you go. Haha. Good luck. And I was like, thanks. All right, let's keep going.
Jesus. Yeah. You guys are mean.
Yeah. I think the story, like I finished that as well. I think the story was really, really short for
You finished it? And you didn't like it?
No, I finished it, and I won't spoil the ending, but it's a big disappointment.
Okay.
Like,
So-
there's no.
Did they leave it wide open for a sequel? Or
At
something?
the end, there's no cutscene at the end. It's just pictures and text you get at the end.
Okay.
That's all you get,
Okay.
based on your choices.
All right, let's move on from the Outer Worlds.
All right.
Because we talked about a game company that was being bad in Bethesda. There's another game company starting with B that you don't want to be right now. That's Blizzard.
Yes.
Blizzard have been in some hot water since we were last here as well.
What'd they do?
Do you not know anything about it?
You don't know?
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Well, good luck, bruv. I'm going to check the phone bank. Oh no, there's nobody in the phone bank. It's fine.
Oh, it's not the China thing, is it?
The whole
the China
Hong
thing,
Kong
Oh,
situation,
okay.
banning the player for what he said and then rescinding it, and it's been a total mess. And then they
Also,
gave a
I think the entire Choking Hazard podcast supports Hong Kong. I think I can go out on a limb and say that.
Oh no, we'll be on a list now.
Oh,
We're
damn it.
pro Hong Kong. I'm already on a list. You check my messages. I'm already being watched.
Choking has a podcast banned. It's going to be behind the firewall now. No, banned in China.
And you know what? Go Palestine. No, I'm just kidding. I have no opinion on that.
Our Christmas special is actually going to be sponsored by ExpressVPN. So.
NordVPN.
So yeah, they had kind of given non-apology on the whole BlizzCon thing, but they're just game companies now seem to be looking for any way that they can to ruin games, make the gaming experience worse for people so they can sell you a better gaming experience for more money, and just be constantly in controversy for something. So I don't really want to spend any time on it. I just want to just mention it and be like, okay, you're stupid.
That half-hearted apology was appalling. I want to know how long they spent writing and rewriting his speech for that, because he fucking didn't write it. It was horrendous. They didn't apologize for what they did. They apologized for how they handled things.
Yeah, it was very by the numbers, using the right language to say get around everything that they were doing. Yeah.
Sculpted by committee. It was horrible. Oh,
Yeah.
just be honest, man. But it's okay because Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. So
Yeah, so everyone forgets.
who cares?
So it's getting a bit dark, RET, is it? Is that what
a little bit more light here.
There you go. That's good.
Come on, here we go.
So we're speaking of game companies that are doing good things after having previously done bad things. Rocket League getting rid of loot boxes.
Yeah, December
Kind
the
of.
4th. The date has been set.
But I don't know. I like it seems like they're getting a lot of praise for this, but I feel like it should have never been in the game in the first place.
Yeah.
And
Hammer and I
they've
have
still
very
got lots of
different opinions on this.
monetization options for it anyway, right? Isn't there like season passes and all this kind of stuff? Like they're getting rid of loot boxes at a point where they probably don't need the loot box income.
There's the Rocket Pass, which I think for the amount of items that you get within it, I think is probably a good value. I think you don't have to do it, and if you don't do it, you still get items anyway. You just don't get as much or as nice items. I think that's not too bad. I think it's all right. I can live with that. The way they're getting rid of loot boxes is still a little bit shady. There's
That's
still
what I was
a
saying.
little
It's
bit
like
of
kind of-
shadiness to it.
Already.
But it's a lot better than what it was, but there is still a little bit of shadiness to it.
How are they getting how
The difference is you know what you're getting. It's like instead of loot boxes, you get blueprints or something like that, and you have to unlock the entire blueprint or whatever, and then you can buy the item that you unlocked.
So basically, the crates are getting replaced with these things called blueprints, which are essentially an open crate, except you have to pay to open them. So you can see the contents of the crate. So if it's a new car or a new paint job or whatever, you can see what it's going to be. And then if you want it, you can buy a key to own it, basically.
But what if you don't want
it? It's not keys anymore. But if you don't want it, you don't have to do anything with it. You can trade it, do whatever you want.
But what?
So
how do you
randomized
how
gambling aspect of it is eliminated? So
there's still a randomized. It's still a randomized drop.
But when do you get these drops?
Like you know what you're getting. It's
like
not,
if you open up a one of these new whatever they're called, do you get another one that is dropped and you can see what's in the next one straight away?
Right. So when you play the game,
yeah, instead
of getting a crate randomly after a match, you'll get a blueprint, and you can see what that blueprint is for. I.e., what the crate item would have been, and then you can choose to either ignore the blueprint, or you can choose to pay to open it and get the item that's inside.
But then you would get another blueprint the next time that you play.
Not necessarily the next time you play,
but like
as you play.
As you play. Yeah.
But then what do you do with the...
Have you ever played Rocket League?
Well, yeah, I know.
I know you did a little bit. But when you play and you complete games, after the game, you get items for like experience and stuff. And like you'll get a topper or whatever to put in your car. I
know about it. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of how it's going to be. Not every time, but like,
So, as Voodoo Cthulhu says in chat, it still sounds like bullshit. It still is bullshit. It's just considerably less bullshit than it was, because you can actually see what you're going to get and choose to either buy it or not based on the contents. So, like,
is there a way to buy more blueprints?
No.
So the blueprints are literally, they're only ever going to get given when you're playing games randomly, and you can just see what it is, and you can either buy it or not.
Yeah, you earn the right to buy something, basically.
Yeah.
It's like... That's basically it.
But the difference is you can actually see what you're buying this time. No, previously, you didn't.
Because I remember that they got around that, I can't remember which game it was, but back when the whole loot box thing was blowing up, and they got around it by showing you what was in the box first, so you could either buy it or not. But the only way to then get another box was to buy it. Like you had to buy one box to then get another box. So it worked just the same way. It was just that, you know, the point at which the luck happens is brought forward a little bit.
I don't ever remember it being like that. So
I'm not talking Rocket League, but
oh, sorry,
I'm talking like it was some other game that got around the whole thing by showing what you got in the box, but you had to buy that box to then get another box. It might have been. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. There was something. So it made they made no difference to the whole. You know, the luck was still there. You just saw.
There's no luck here.
No,
there's no luck at all.
Yeah. The luck is in getting the right blueprint.
Yeah, but then you can choose to just ignore it or trade it or whatever.
You can choose to ignore it, and that way you won't get crap items. You'll only get the items that you want. But you do have to pay.
That is better.
You would have been doing that anyway. It is better, but
it's still not as good as it should be. Like you just buy whatever you want.
Originally, you used to open them with keys, which you bought in packs of keys or whatever, and you got a discount, and you bought it with real money. Now they've replaced it with a bullshit fake currency. Oh. So on December the 4th, all of the keys from your inventory will get changed into 100 credits per key, and then I don't know, is it 100 credits to open a blueprint? I don't know, but those credits will run in tandem with an item shop that they're also opening. So
oh my god,
have, like,
games
rare
are just
stuff in the item shop, but it's all done through the bullshit currency. So they've always got to have some way to get you.
It's so frustrating. This is why I haven't played gotten into a different multiplayer game since GTA. Like GTA is bad enough, but I just can't.
Can you earn credits without having to buy them? No, Loopy.
No.
No, you have
But
to buy
you
them.
see, this is the thing. Like, my personal opinion is that games like Rocket League or Fortnite, that it's purely cosmetic. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I can play Rocket League. I can play Rocket League and beat the shit out of you by just using everything that's available to me without spending an extra dime on the game.
I still think there's something wrong with it in terms of the psychological effects of, because the cosmetics of a game are still part of the game. It's like, you know, the whole idea of looter shooters and loot based games is the entire whole idea of a game is to get loot, change loot, change your character's appearance.
It's car soccer.
No, but they're playing on that, the people who like that aspect of games, but they're just paywalling it.
Yeah.
Look, man, I have to buy 3 different pairs of pants if I want 3 different colors of pants.
No,
that's like that's real life.
No. Do you remember back in the day when you bought Tekken 2 and you unlocked every fighter just by playing the game? Don't do that anymore. You have to buy every single additional.
That's different though. They when you back in the day when you bought Tekken 2, there was no way to improve the game afterwards or add anything else afterwards. Now they can continuously add more things to the game.
They're taking stuff out of the base game so that they can add it later on.
Not necessarily. That's not necessarily true.
For fighting games, they do.
Well, yeah, for fighting games. So we're not talking about a fighting game. We're talking about a game where they design cars, you know, years afterwards, and then release them and say, "Hey, look, we made this thing. You could buy it if you want. You don't have to buy it. It's not going to make you any better at the game, but it's cool."
Yeah, I am okay with a game that is, you know, continually being updated if it has enough content to start with, and that's why games have now. The games definitely release with very little content now because they're trying to save things or get it out of the door and add it later. But if a game has a good base game and then they add stuff over the years, then that's fine. If the only way that they sell it, and it's only cosmetic, it doesn't affect gameplay, is by selling you directly. No bullshit, psychological garbage, or separate currencies or whatever. Here's a skin, here's a hat topper or whatever you want to call it, and you can buy it for this price in real currency value. That's how it should be. But it's all the other shit that they do that makes it so bad and plays on everything that people like, and people want these different things and they have to get the right currency for it and then get the right blueprint, and it's just so many layers of stuff.
Yeah, I think touching on the psychological aspect of cosmetics as well. RDT, there was a big article in the UK while we were away talking about like how kids were getting bullied at school for when they were playing Fortnite and using standard skins.
Yeah,
that is exactly,
that's a real problem.
Exactly, yeah, it is. It's exactly.
It preys on people. It preys on people that feel that they need to have the latest and greatest things.
It's FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
But that's the majority of people.
And I can only speak to what I feel. Like, I don't feel that FOMO when a new car in Rocket League comes out. I'm like, oh, that's a nice car, but I do just as fine with everything that I have that I earned through playing the game. Like, I know it's a very narrow way of thinking, but I can only go off of what I know and project what I think. I could play devil's advocate. I could say, oh, well, maybe I want to buy all this stuff. Maybe I would want to do all that stuff, but it's just not the way that I play games. It's not the way that I think.
Yeah. But the reason that they make money on it, and the reason that we're well aware about games as a service, the reason that games as a service is such a huge thing now and people don't make proper games like Jedi Fallen Order anymore, is because they play on most people who want all of these different things and will, do what they need to do to get them.
But isn't that everything in life? Isn't that every marketer's dream? Like, isn't that what everybody's trying to do? Isn't that their objective?
But these are games. Like, we've grown up with games being games, and now games aren't games anymore. So it's difficult to change that.
I don't know, man. There's like 400 different versions of Monopoly to play. Like, how many times can you change Monopoly and have, you got James Bond Monopoly, you got Lord of the Rings Monopoly, you got Monopoly 2000. Like, how many times are you going to sell the same game to us? It's kind of been going on forever.
Not sure if that example quite... I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not sure that quite sort of factors in. But yeah, I see what you
It's
mean.
different skins to the game, but you got to pay full price for it.
But it's not. That's like saying, like, Rocket League, every time a new car comes out, you have to buy a new copy of the game.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's better. Like, it's less predatory, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
But anyway, they're doing less bullshit, so I guess they get a good, well done. Less bullshit, but still a little bit of bullshit, so come on.
I just want games to be games where you unlock stuff in the game. You just don't unlock anything in games anymore.
Yeah. Apart from Jedi Fallen Order, which is excellent. Go and buy it now.
Yeah. Indie games.
Indie games too, yeah.
I've got to say that when I first saw those articles about kids getting bullied for having default skins and stuff like that, like, if it was me and I was a big streamer on Fortnite, I would immediately switch to a default skin and just use it. Especially if I was good. If I was some competitive player, I would be using a default skin and just wreck people in a default skin. That's just something I would do.
Ninja should do that.
Yeah.
He should just be wearing because he has the audience already. He doesn't need to be, wearing the newest skin or whatever.
No, exactly.
He's not going to get any more viewers for that. He already has millions of people watching him.
I would
totally do that. And I'm kind of disappointed that nobody has.
So this is kind of a side. When we were at EGX, the amount of people that we saw wearing a Mixer partner hoodie was unbelievable. It was like every second person was a Mixer partner. I was just like, what do you have to do to be a Mixer partner? Do you just have to, like, show up one day and they just chuck you a hoodie? Like, honestly, like we went on the cable car that goes from the XL over to the O2, and literally the carriage before us had 6 Mixer partners in it. 6 Jesus. Mixer partners. Wow. It was ridiculous. And they were all wearing their hoodies, like, super proud of it. It's almost like being an affiliate on Twitch.
Okay.
Pretty much. I'm thinking it's crazy.
That's
so funny.
That's crazy.
They've all got their names on the back, their Mixer names and everything, and, like, oh my god, it's
very cringy.
If I was a Mixer partner, there's no way I'd be wearing that hoodie. Absolutely no way. It's like saying, "Hey, I breathe air."
Aditi's left us again, by the way. He can still hear us. We should start talking about him, and he can't do anything to respond.
Oh, he'll probably come back with some hot take, I imagine.
Or his microphone won't work.
It's true.
So should we just get? Oh, I missed the Game Awards. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the Game of the Year Game Awards were announced. When were these released?
Like a week ago, I think.
Okay. I've not played any of the games that are on the Game of the Year list.
Fair enough. I've only played one of them.
And what like, are there games here that you think should be on that aren't?
Probably, yeah. Unfortunately, Fallen Order came out like 2 days after the nominees were announced, so it has to wait until next year to get all of its praise and honours. Although I think Cyberpunk will absolutely destroy it.
Probably.
we'll see. So for Game of the Year, the nominees are Control, all right, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2 Remake, which shouldn't even be in there because it's a remake of a game, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds, which I thought was garbage. But yeah, there's those are your Game of the Year nominees.
Okay.
RDT will probably pick Sekiro, I think.
I never finished it.
No.
One thing that I found
It's too
interesting is that they have a oh my god, I've just noticed fresh indie game presented by Subway.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just the best indie game; it's fresh indie game. Subway. I saw mobile game category, Call of Duty Mobile. Isn't that just laden with microtransactions completely?
Some of the choices are interesting, to say the least. I would say.
No, I won't. I've never paid attention to the Game Awards. To be honest, I'm not going to do it.
Do you want to know the nominees for best sports/racing game?
Oh God. Sure. FIFA.
Yep, FIFA 20 is one of them because of course it would be. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
Oh, interesting.
Dirt Rally 2. Hang on. eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020. And F1 2019. Those are your... they don't really care about this category.
FIFA's going to win.
I don't think they really care about this category.
No.
Yeah.
My God.
Two football games and three mediocre racing games, apart from Dirt Rally, which was...
Also, from what I've seen, Death Stranding looks terrible. Why? Why is it getting so much?
It's definitely had mixed reviews, we could say.
Because what's his name? Kojima. Yeah, Kojima is best friend with the guy that runs the Game Awards. So
okay.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why it's getting tons of praise. In fact, he's actually in the game. The guy that runs the Game Awards, he's in the game. So I think there's a bit of a conflict of interest, if I'm honest. You know, I think there's a bit of a conflict of interest.
Oh my God.
But, yeah.
Right, I'm sick of talking about games now and realizing the state of everything.
Wow.
Last episode follow-up. Do we comment even?
My brain doesn't go back that far.
Yeah, I have no idea what we spoke about, so like I don't know. But
it was about my strange visitors at my flat and strange stories, and you being bad at telling strange stories.
Oh yeah, me being absolutely terrible at recounting stories. I feel like I did okay at the start of the stream when you were actually asking me questions, but me just like trying to tell you all that in one go, just off the cuff, wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, so it was episode 48, Strange, Funny and Terrible Stories, and we asked you to use the phrase, just Scotland things.
Oh, yeah.
There were 38 comments in total. How many do you think mentioned just Scotland things?
18.
13.
So, Bruff, you said 18, and RDT, you said 13?
13, yeah.
Yeah, you said them both at exactly the same time, so I thought I'd recount them. 19.
All right, Bruffy wins.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, well done. And apparently, according to Phil, we need to read out L. Shelby's comment.
Okay.
Ruff, apparently.
I need to find that and read it.
Find L. Shelby's. I wasn't allowed to look at it. Phil says I'm not allowed to look at it, so I assume it's about me. Some sort of horrendous thing to say about me.
Thank you, Phil, for doing your homework on these comments, by the way.
Yeah,
L. Shelby, 2 months ago, because it's almost 3 months ago, really. But loved the copious amounts of hammer in this one. That voice is intoxicating, like a great Scotch. Just Scotland things. Also, pour one out for a sugar-free podcast.
Truth.
Thank you very much, L. Shelby. I don't think I've got a nice voice, but thank you, I guess.
So, Mr. Mega Mario, do you want to bring him in and ask him a question?
Oh shit, we've got a
caller.
In the podcast? Oh,
it actually happened.
Oh my god! Right, RDT, are you going to do the thing or am I?
I guess I'll do it. Why not?
Cool.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the Choking Hazard podcast. I'm too busy putting cheese and tomatoes on a piece of bread and driving it to your location. What's your question and who's your question for?
Well, my question here is for everyone. First of all, Nos, you do need to get out of that Domino's there. Second of all, and I know, Broughy, you're going to hate me for this, but we're kind of going back to those companies. If you had to be any of those terrible companies, any one of them, which one would you be and why? Aside from obviously money, because that's all of them.
I know my answer.
Well, if I had to be at one of the bad game companies, which one would it be? Was that the question?
Yeah, or even running them, really.
Okay.
If you were actually running them.
If I was in charge of one of the game companies, which one would I decide to take over?
And is the question assuming that we keep doing the same thing, or are these
can we make
changes?
effective change?
I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't think about that, but we'll go with that. We'll actually go with that.
We're just gonna be put in as the CEO, and we can do things that we want to do.
Yeah, at first I thought, stay the same, but we'll actually go with change them to your heart's desire.
Which of the worst companies would you change? Is basically how.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I have my answer.
Going back to if we were just to work at the company, just be a low-level worker, I'd totally pick Ubisoft because I think I could pretty much do nothing in that company, and their teams are so unbelievably massive. I think I could hide away and do nothing. Plus, they get to do really nice historic journeys for Assassin's Creed and stuff I'd be really interested in. So yeah, if we were doing it that way, I'd pick Ubisoft. But if we're doing it going in as the CEO, I'd definitely pick EA because he's got the biggest paycheck and they've got the Star Wars license. So I'd make them exclusively do Star Wars games that are good.
I see what you're saying, but you'd better say Rockstar and make racing a proper thing. That wouldn't be my answer, Riv. And you would have to take over Take-Two for that as well, wouldn't you? So you would have everything that Take-Two does. But I my answer was also EA, just because they have so many licenses for so many great things that they're not using, and they need to.
That's 3 for 3. I was going to say EA as well, because those yearly sports games can be so much better than they are, and they're the same thing every year. So
I would bring back Mass Effect, even though they're meant to be bringing it back at some point. But EA.
Yeah, apparently BioWare are working on a new Mass Effect. Yeah. As well as fixing Anthem and doing Dragon Age 4.
Yeah, it's all going to go to hell.
Maybe stretching themselves a little bit thin there.
Thank you, Mr. Mega Mario, for the question.
You're welcome. Admittedly, I was hoping that there would be more different answers, but I'm glad it was for all different reasons.
Yeah, at least we got that.
More interesting then. All right.
Thank you. RDT, are you doing this anymore? Should I just cancel it off?
That was the only question?
That was the only question.
It was, yeah.
Damn.
Should I just delete the AJM from the whole document and not bring it up anymore?
Do it.
You're doing it? All right, okay. Okay. The podcast is making a triumphant return, and so is the Apple Juice Minute.
I can do it.
I'm super excited.
Go for it.
So I've decided, I'm 25 now. That happened 2 months ago, 4 years ago, whenever the last time that podcast was. Beer is so childish. It's like, oh yeah, you can have a beer. It's like, yeah, that's what you have when you're 17 and you're like hiding it from your mom. So I've decided to be a healthy person. I started to choose healthier options to get inebriated, and that's why, you got your Trulies, you got your White Claws, you got your even whatever, all these spiked seltzers. I decided to go with a brand that one of our old co-hosts would align with way better than I would, but I will support him in everything that he does, and that's with the Natural Light Hard Seltzer. I mean, you can't go wrong. The name of the thing is the goddamn Catalina lime mixer. And if you've seen Step Brothers, you know that it's a quality product. Now, not only are you getting drunk, you're getting hydrated, which is important. And that's the adult thing to do. You're supposed to drink. If you're a hydro homie like me, all you care about is drinking water. So what's better than alcoholic water? It's amazing. And it's natural. It says it on the can, which means it's made from all natural ingredients. I don't know what's in it, but I'm assuming it's all natural. So why don't we pop this bad boy open and give it a sip for some spicy water with a little bit of alcohol in it. Cheers.
Some spicy water with a little bit of alcohol.
Cheers, RDT.
Cheers.
That seems to be the big thing in the States now, doesn't it? Fizzy water with alcohol in it.
That's spiked seltzer, boy. It's ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. That's what they say. Like, I'm on it.
Yes.
Yeah, does it quaff? How quaffable is it?
It's quite quaffable.
Yeah.
It's dangerously quaffable. The first time I had spiked seltzer was back in college. It wasn't as big, but I saw it on the shelf in a make your own 6-pack thing, and I was like, oh, I should try this. And when I drank it, I was like, well, this is dangerous and it's going to be super popular. And it is. So.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. I've had fun tonight.
Yeah, it's been
Oh,
good.
yeah, this is great.
Choke of the week. It's that time. Choke of the week. Choke of the last 3 months.
That's, choke of the week.
So we've got
Keeping
3
the name.
clips again. I'll wait for you guys to load them up if you want to follow along.
Oh, shit. I've not... Hang on. Can you stall? I've not done the straw poll.
Oh, well, you've got like 3 minutes to do the straw poll. Isn't that enough during all of these?
Okay.
You just
Crack
pick it
on.
on the time limit.
What in the world is this?
All right, so what I'm going to do, RDT, just so if you want to follow along, I'm going to play the first bit of the this clip, and then I'm going to skip to like 1 minute in because it's
Okay.
a lot of fast forwarding. So let's go to this screen. There we go. We do have an RDT up there. Excellent.
Excuse me.
Jesus. Okay, so if you're listening to this, for those of you still listening to the Choking Hazard podcast on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, you're going to have to go to the video to see these. But some good clips this week. I'm going to start it now. So as the text says, this is a
game moment.
a game mommed in World of Tanks. 2 teams, each driving 3 tanks,
Good Lord.
racing on each side, and basically you can try to. It's in World of Tanks. You're racing. So it's whoever wins, whoever gets to the line first. But you can try to shoot each other. So you're separated. One team's on one side, one team's on the other side. They're speeding it up, so I'm going to skip until we get to, let's say, the minute mark now. So we're coming around, and we've got. This does look genuinely entertaining. Towards the end of the track, it looks like the 2 sides converge into one. And as it says on the text, the first place guy stops in front of the finish line in order to shoot our main guy, and our guy actually wins the race. So he stopped on the finish line in order to get a cheeky kill, and it didn't turn out for him and he lost the race. So that's choke number 1.
Excellent.
Here's choke number 2. Having a few issues on a stunt race after being in the lead.
Yep, so that's
Then
first
gets
place.
hit
car is
again.
that?
That is the Neo.
Okay.
Gets hit again and gets knocked off. Then drives into another car at that point and has to go back and get the boost again, but then falls off once again and goes straight down. I'm laughing again.
Oof.
When I first watched this during the pre-show, I couldn't stop laughing at this because it's an absolute comedy of errors. It just doesn't stop. And then he's down in what is it? I think it's 8th place in the end he finishes. It's just one of those things where he was in the lead, right before the finish line, about to win, and then he has so many errors. Falls off, gets hits some another car, falls off again, spins around, low camera is the real choke here. That's what caused all that. So that was choke number 2, and then language warning for number 3. Just so you know, there's a bit of language in this one, but I'm gonna play it because it's quite funny. So it's a final part of a race. First place in the Italy GTB. I'm guessing this was before the changes were made because it's looking pretty bouncy. Coming up to the finish line off a jump.
Oh, oncoming! No!
Spins it.
No!
Loses it.
Like, no way.
Fucking way, man! No!
And loses the race.
No way! No fucking way!
So there you go. You got 3 chokes. Italy GTB was the main choke of that one, I think, but he took it easier than I would. Yeah, he lost it, not only the race, but his ability to stay calm in that situation as well, I think. I notice how he beeps on the jump to victory too. Did he do that as well? The final jump, just about to cross the finish line, and then the Italy GTO does its thing. Have I been saying GTB? I keep getting those wrong. That's stupid. Why did they make car names that are exactly the same apart from one letter?
Yeah.
It's kind of real life too, though. You have like the Acura TLX and the SL,
Yeah, it's stupid.
TLS and
real life
SLX and STD.
is also stupid.
Everything's stupid, man. This whole thing.
Come
So
on,
vote on the poll.
119 people.
The poll has been put in there. How many?
119 people watching, 37 votes.
I thought you said that there was 19 votes with 100 odd people watching, and that was going to be. I think that was going to be it. That was the end of the podcast.
It's going to be the end of the podcast.
Yeah. Get voting on the straw poll. The straw poll link is being put in the chat. Which was your favourite? Choke 1, World of Tanks. Choke 2 with the stunt race nonsense, and Choke 3 with the Italy GTO and the swearing and stuff. I think I definitely have my favourite, and I chose it pretty much immediately as soon as I saw it in the pre-show, because I had to check the third one to see if it was okay to because there's some swearing, so I had to check that it was okay. So I thought I'd watch all of them, and yeah, I have my vote. I've had my vote from that moment.
We're up to 50 votes.
Hey,
very
come on, guys,
very
vote.
close.
It's very close. Is it close enough that our vote would make a difference? Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Do you have your favourite RDT at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Very close. Get voting.
Super easy to vote.
Is it
Just
leveled
click
off?
2 clicks, and you're done. 54 votes we've got now. Now you can't make a difference, I don't think. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
no, you can't make a difference.
That's disappointing. All right.
Yeah, so your choice.
I have a feeling I know which one is going to win without looking at the votes.
I think I know which is going to win, but it's not my choice.
Although
Right,
there's two options, I think. I think there's 2 ways that everyone can look at this. I think they either agree with you or they like the spectacle of the guy saying the F word.
I think that's the way that it is good. What is your favorite? What is your vote?
I'm going to go with 2.
Yeah, I would also go with 2. That was the best of the chokes from an absolute choking perspective, because I mean the third one was also in the GTB, so really it was the GTO, sorry. It was the GTO that made the choke. But my vote, I just couldn't stop laughing at number 2. It was the best. All 3 were very good, though, I've got to say. We had some good selections this week.
I like the World of Tanks one.
Yeah.
That's very different.
And it was it was interesting to see that.
Interesting one we've had.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Okay.
But it wasn't him that choked. So that's the problem.
Incidentally, I picked the bouncy GTOs, but that's just me. I just thought it was the most entertaining. Right, so in third place was our tank choke. Well done. Thanks for submitting it, though.
Yeah, I'm glad we got something
it was
different.
good.
I'm genuinely happy that we saw something from a completely different game.
Yeah,
If
I
it
like,
was, sorry. If it was our person that stopped to try to kill the person, I would have voted for that. That would have 100%.
Yeah,
been
if
the choke.
the person who submitted it was the person who made the choke and stopped and then lost the race. Yeah.
that would have been
I
my
understand that.
Yeah.
pick. But
Yeah. In first place is actually choke number 2, from bad to worse.
There
there
you
we
go.
go.
Done.
The right answer.
Yeah.
Well done, chat.
My
Done,
faith
chat.
has been
And-
my faith has
and
been
presenters.
shaky for the last few choke of the weeks. It's being restored right now.
Yeah, good job, everyone. So, yeah, choke number 1 was from a gentleman called Mark Cap. I don't think we've had anything from him in the past, so thanks for that, Mark. Choke number 2, the winner was Loopy. Thanks for the submission, Loopy. You're terrible. And choke number 3 was from, you can see him in chat, it's Revolution.
Good swearing revolution. I guess you've got that in that
Yeah.
that
Good
accent.
swearing.
Check out his stream, I guess. If that was during a stream, check it out.
But yeah,
Whatever
I just liked the second one because I mean both the second and third one were right before the line as well, but the second one just went from about to
There's
win
Mark in
to
chat too. Sorry.
ruined. But yeah, both of them, all three of them were really good this week. So yeah, Mark is in chat actually. Mark said
There's
the
Mark
person
in
who
chat. Hi, Mark. Hi,
Mark Cook.
I mean, we've had months to collect
Yeah, that's
jokes.
true.
So I would hope that they've been good.
So the voting has continued while we've been talking, and the choke 2 and choke 3 are now tied at 26 votes each. However, as you both voted for choke number 2, then the original
It's
result
still
stands.
Gets the
Yeah.
dub. Gets that dub, boy.
Yeah, Mark said, "Don't play any racing games," and this I'm never going to have a chance to submit a choke of the week. And Word of Tanks then gives a racing mode and gives him the chance to submit something. So yeah, it was fun to see something completely different. It was a good one.
That's interesting. Don't play any racing games, but follow this podcast and Broughy.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And yeah, good chokes. But the downfall of the second one was just great. Good job by Loopy. You are terrible and hopeless, falling off things.
Stop racing.
Just stop racing.
Because
Yeah.
that was just a poor performance.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Ugh.
All right, that'll do us for today then. Next episode is going to be at some point before Christmas for the
Hopefully.
Christmas special. Probably not
Yes.
on a Saturday so that we can have Nos there for it. If we can try to arrange it. It'll be the 50th episode and the Christmas special.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 years, 50 episodes. Amazing.
Our rate has gotten worse over the years.
we like the first 2 months we had like 30 episodes and now we're at 50.
Yeah. Word for the comments. Do we want a word
Well-
for the comments?
Jesse said free Hong Kong, but I think that's a little bit.
No,
Yeah,
that's
no,
too
it's
pathetic.
not
That'll
that.
get that won't just get us demonetized. That'll get the video removed.
What I was thinking was last podcast of the 20s.
Last podcast of the 20s.
30 to life. 30 to life. Oh man. Something about 30.
Something about 30. Happy 30th.
No, not happy 30th. Just
No.
anything about 30. Just
Anything?
put 30
Anything? All right.
in
Yeah.
it.
Anything about 30. Just putting
Yeah.
30 in something in some sentence somewhere. Let's do that.
Yeah.
The podcasts start to space out more and
Sorry,
more like
Phil.
prime numbers. Yeah. All right. So anything with 30 in. Thank you guys for those who are still, watching on the Choking Hazard channel, who are still listening. We appreciate it. We got
And on Spotify.
and on Spotify. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
if you're listening on iTunes, drop us a review. Thanks very much.
We got like
Because
5
it
of them.
helps us get more popular and stuff, I think.
No one watches this anyway, man. We're just doing this for our own benefit at this point.
Yeah, I enjoyed, so that's fine. That's all that matters.
I get to drink during the day. It's fine.
All right. Do you guys want to say goodbye?
Nah,
Goodbye, guys.
Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. See you later.
See ya.